All right, guys, so check out the stock APLD. I'm going to give you just a complete breakdown on it on the chart, and then we'll look at Fidelity and see what their analysis is. So if you stick around, you'll see what Fidelity believes about this, and you'll see my chart breakdown. So I'm just going to go on the 5-year chart, and we're going to look. It looks like this stock was pumped in the range of like 2023. It looks like May. It went from $3 all the way up to $11.62. Now, there weren't too many buyers in this range, as you can see right here, because it's very thin lines. So basically, the sellers took over at 11.62, sold all the way down, 50% down from almost 11.60 to $6. So this begs the question, is this a buy? In my opinion, just looking at a chart analysis, this is definitely a very risky play. I would not assume that this is going to be a buy. But let's look and see where we can find potential stabs if you were willing to take some risk and follow a strict stop loss. So the first place that I see that I would be even comfortable if I was buying shares of this, which I'm not, full disclosure, if I was buying shares of this, I am looking and waiting patiently and just setting my alerts, because you don't need to enter the trade and take that risk. Why enter the trade when the clear momentum is down? The clear momentum right now is just this downslope. You need to see this get broken first before we can actually, or at least form a base here, which you are starting to see at the $5.07. But notice it's kind of at that $0.50, 5.5, where it's starting to hold. And let me just show you a quick little thing here. We're starting to get a little bit of support in this range. Now, is that enough for me to take a stab at it? No. To me, it's not. So the way I look at it is, I want to see, if I'm going to trade APLD, strictly just looking at a chart perspective, I want to see it come down to this range, just around $4, $3.8, and I want to see what it's going to do from that range. I want to see if it starts building a support and holding. When I look at it, that's another, from $5, that's another, we're looking for another 35% down, 36% down. The reason I don't like this stock is because just look, besides looking at just the downtrend of 50%, anybody can say that. It just looks like it's been pumped and dumped. If you go to the 5-year chart, it used to be less than 5 cents, like 0.005. And then it got pumped all the way up to 570. And when it gets this move up, which is over 1,000% return, right? Like going from here up to here, that's a 6,000% return. But look at the drawbacks on this. The risks just don't outweigh the rewards. From 5.7 all the way down to $1, I mean, it's an 81% loss in your value. This stock just moves insane, and you have to have an insane risk tolerance to be able to hold a company like this. Unless you're day trading it, then fine. So I would look at it as a day trade, because the only areas that you start to see some potential areas of resistance right here is around 4.74. So like 4.75 range, because you can see it right here. And that area kind of goes from 4.36 up to all the way up to like, $5. Currently we're trading at 5.78 with that 50% drawdown. So I still wouldn't be comfortable buying it here. I'd be very patient with this stock, and if I'm going to buy this, I'm waiting until the 3s, 3.7, 3.8. And the reason I say that is because this has had so much resistance at this level, and it showed support right in this range, around the $3 range right here. And then you had resistance coming up to the 3, back under, and then it blasted up once it finally broke 3.75. This is not something that I would hold long term. I definitely would only strictly day trade this if I was going to, but the only reason I'm looking this up is because a subscriber asked me to look into the stock, so I definitely want to check it out, because it could be an opportunity. You never know. But for now, this is clearly on the downtrend. It's selling off. I would be very patient and just watch, because I don't see any real buy opportunities. This can go all the way back down to $1. There's still room for this to just keep getting cheaper. Just remember, they can always get cheaper. If it goes back to $2, you're looking at a 70% downturn of loss on your money. So I definitely wouldn't be looking to trade this thing. It just looks like a pump and dump, because it's pulled back too much. I had this nice bull flag, and you could see the bull flag forming. Had this nice here. It's in this range. which was beautiful, but now it would have needed to pull back up and start making new highs. It has broken the bull flag here, which you can see, and now it's just continuous selling. So what I'm expecting to see, looking at this stock, is I'm expecting this to start forming a little bit of a bear flag. And then what we're going to see here is the stock's going to trade in between this 5.7 up into this 7 range. And then it's going to just sell back off into that support range that we were talking about at $4. And if it does that and it's trading, let's say at 5.8 and it breaks down and goes down to that $4 like we were predicting, it's still another 30% drawback. So that's what we're looking at with this stock, at least in my opinion. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some guy on YouTube trying to make some money. But looking at this stock, I don't think the risk is worth the reward. If you want to take a stab and try, that $4 range, 4.6, I can understand that with a strict stop loss, because you have to look right here was major resistance. And then right in this zone, you had the breakout. So they line up pretty evenly around this 4.58 level, all the way up until about $5 to 4.8. I can understand taking a chance like that. But just be wary, if this breaks this $5, this could be headed back down to like $3 or just slow bleed on you. Because just look at the last couple of days. All it does is just slowly bleed. It's very hard to go long and make money on the stock. All it does is just bleed out. Because within the month of August, we went from $9 all the way down to $5. I mean, it's almost 50% loss. So just be very careful if you're going to be day trading this stock. It's definitely, if you have a high risk tolerance, and hopefully it works out for you and this thing really goes up. But I definitely would stay away from this, in my opinion. But so on the Fidelity website, APLD, it's got a very bearish sentiment, basically 0.3 rating out of 10. So very high sellers, really no buyers. This is a micro cap. It looks like there's 103 million shares available, so this could be easily influenced. And like we said, we're looking at the chart from there. It just looks like a pump and dump, because it went from that 3.6 range up to that almost $12, back down to 5.78. So definitely be very cautious on that. Then I was trying to see any analyst reports and opinions. And the overall equity score is bearish at 0.3. And it's probably just because it's such a new company. I mean, it hasn't been around that long. But when I look at the reviews on it, it's not looking too good. It's just overall is just bearish on the whole sentiment. I mean, it's rated as a very poor, low quality. The market cap is so tiny. They don't make any money looking at their earnings per share. So this is a company I definitely wouldn't really recommend. But at the end of the day, you got to do what you think is best. And maybe this could be a good buying opportunity if somebody has the stomach to hold this type of stock. But this is definitely, looking into it, looks a little weak. But just want to throw it out there so you guys can see. If you want a stock for me to evaluate, I'll take a look at it. But I'm not a professional investor or anything like that. I'm just looking at it from a chart perspective, and it looks pretty weak. Looks like it has more downside.